Hi everybody, in this episode we just did some sailing in the harbor, a little bit light sailing on a Sunday, and showing you some of the sights. And we were doing some motor tests and checking out our instruments, getting used to all the changes we did this winter. So right now it's telling me that I'm draining 5-6 amps out of the battery, but my guess is I've got about 15 amps coming in through the solar panel. And I got my wind transducer fixed, so this is great. Showing me 13 knots right now. 11, so gusty. It's supposed to be 7. Oh, there's a whole regatta out there today. It's supposed to be 7 gusting to 12, but I think it's a little bit more than that. Looks like I'm going to have to keep it close to the to land to get around the course. They got a whole course going on here today. Right now the solar is pulling 7 amps in, and it's basically matching my consumption. So I'm only using 7 amps to do 2.8 knots here because I got wind behind me. I was windy out. Got 8 knots of wind, that's what it's telling me, so it's good. It's a gentle day today. Well, not quite gentle, but low wind, we'll call it. There we go, picking up now. Power kicking in. Scooting by the Hamilton Burlington lift bridge. That's where I am on the chart. I finally figured out how to get my Victron data in there, which is awesome. So 99% state of charge. I'm running 55.2 volts, so I'm pretty much topped up. And I've got half an amp going into the battery. There's only 2 big cargo ships out in the water today. Last time I was out there were 6. So I was weaving in and out of them. So I'm going to turn now and do a downwind sail, but only after I'm going to do one more tack, and then I'm going to go by the Inland Waters Federal Station here. Right along their wharf, there's a concrete wharf. So I'm just going to scoot along, and then I'm going to do the downwind over to the corner, so I avoid all of the little boats. I can't see them, but my eyes aren't that good anymore. And right now I'm kind of in the area. It's like the tip of the harbor that has where all the big boats come in with their coal and make the slag. Steel Town. That's U.S. Steel and ArcelorMittal, I think is that one right there. Anyways, I just want to say thanks again for watching these videos. Just trying to document my journey as I get this boat prepared for a long journey. And just documenting what I've learned, my ups and downs of everything, and that kind of thing. So I'm just very grateful to have so many people following along, asking questions. Keeps me thinking, and I appreciate that, because I don't know everything. I'm just an amateur out here, and everybody's comments gets me thinking. I do a little bit of research because there's some other angle or something I didn't think of, so I really appreciate it. Anyways, if you like these videos, give them a thumbs up. This is the federal government. It's the Center of Inland Waters or something, or the Ministry of Inland Waters, so taking care of the lake. And I think that this is one of the agencies where they decide the level of the lake, because they can open up a certain amount of water flow. So when in the spring, when things are melting, or if we've got a high tide or a high volume of water, they can raise and lower the water, let more out, only up to a certain point. And that's why every once in a while we get some massive heights in Lake Ontario, because it's one of the, I guess it's got a deep bottom, so it's got a lot of volume. So they fill it up as much as they can to lower up, Lake Erie and some of the other shallower lakes. But my batteries with the sun here is basically charged. I barely used any coming in. Let me see if I can hide the tracks. I put it on late, but I had to tack. I went way over here, tacked up and over, and this is where I started. So you can see I kind of went up, I went around, did a flyby by the bridge, kind of cruised around here, and then went on a downwind. And I just kind of meandered all the way pretty much to this side because I wanted to come in with the head sail. So here's the recap on the knots. So I hit 7 knots, so that's pretty good. My hull speed max is 6.3, I think. F3 current, so my max was, well, look at that, 38 knots. It doesn't give me an average, but I would say it was 20 knots for part of the day. As soon as you get you're down here at the end, as soon as you get out a little bit, 10 knots can become 15, 16 knots because it kind of funnels over by the bridge. So there's usually a little bit more wind there, so it's kind of fun to go over there and then come back. That's what I do anyways, because my downwind, when I was coming from the bridge, I was doing like 4.5, 5.5 knots until I straightened her out, and I almost did a dead downwind to drop it because I was tired of hearing the propeller keep turning. I got to figure out how to disengage somehow or put a brake on it or something, because I don't need it to be running all the time in the harbor when I'm just going around. So you know, maybe I'm going to get a pair of vice grips or something and stick them on so it can't turn. I don't know. We'll figure out something. But anyways, I'm super glad to have the wind transducer working, so I get the wind direction and the wind speed, because especially the wind direction, I get off tack a little bit, and then there's true wind and an apparent wind. So you want to sail to the apparent wind, or at least that's what I think the way that you want to sail, because as the boat speeds up, you can slowly hedge your point of attack into the wind, and you keep the speed increasing. So it's kind of fun to have this on here because I can keep watching it. There's 60, 50, 40, 30. 40 is where my boat handles really quite nicely upwind. And so the 40 on the green or on the starboard or the port side, if I get to 40, that's where I want to keep it. If I start to touch closer to 30, like my sail's flapping and I lose power. And if I'm over in the 60, 50, well, it goes faster, but I don't have a good angle of attack. So it's optimal at 40. Like I said, I'm surprised actually. It's tuned well for upwind sailing, this boat. It's like so they slip the back. That's interesting. So he slips the back on, and then he keeps trying to drive forward until crew gets the front on. So that's his brake line is right at the back. So that's kind of neat. I wish I could do that, but my fingers are shorter than my boat, so I don't have a lot of room when my gate is here. So that's the way that I did it. I put my brake line on a mid cleat, and it's a midship, but it's a forward of the pivot point. So that's this line here. So that's how it makes it easier for me to solo dock. So as long as I have that on, if I am going a little out of wonky, I can put the power on, put the rudder to turn to port, and then the boat pulls snug on the railing or on the finger. Anyways, thanks again. I'm going to put the boat away and then make myself some supper pretty soon. And it's a beautiful day today. I was glad to get out, and all these little projects are slowly getting done on the boat, so we're getting there. Cheers. Got it. No, hold it. Don't push. Push. Hang on. We're gonna move that way. You gotta hold it with something.
What do we do?
David?